Hey everybody, welcome to the show. What show is that, you're wondering? Why, it's Mr. Waz. What the hell is Mr. Waz, you're wondering? It's movie reviews with original songs. Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music that I think can be associated with 3 movies that I've watched over the last week. Hey, James, welcome. It's good to see you. And I'm doing this differently here. In the past, I've been doing it as live music and movie reviews, but this time we've changed the name to movie reviews with original songs. Partially because the acronym's cooler. Mr. Waz. Wah! So, I'm trying a new platform here. This is the first time that I'm trying to stream on three places at once. So I'm trying to stream on YouTube, on oh, hey Valerie, good to see you. All right, good. It sounds good. That's good. I spent a lot of this time this afternoon trying to make sure that the sound was okay. Um, and so I'm streaming on YouTube, on Facebook twice. Facebook on my personal page and on my music page. So hopefully you're catching it on one of those. I've also got an app here that makes it easier for me to see the comments from people. So hopefully I'll be able to respond to people a little bit better than in the past. Though it's still a tiny screen. So, folks, guess what? It is spooky season. And what does that mean? It means Halloween movies. You've got scary, spooky stuff. And, I'm going to start off with a Halloween film. This movie is known as Hocus Pocus. And it is a movie that I've never seen before. This was one that I saw this last weekend at a Halloween party. It was on a big inflatable projection screen outdoors with just in front of a fire pit. It was an awesome scene. We had, just a buffet of food. It was nice, and a bunch of just friends from assorted areas, and it was a good time. But we got to watch Hocus Pocus. This came out in 1993. It was directed by Kenny Ortega, written by David Kirshner, Mick Garris, and Neil Cuthbert. I don't know any of those folks, but starring Omri Katz and then Bette Midler as well, with really memorable supporting roles from Sarah Jessica Parker and Thora Birch. Like I said, this is the first time I've watched it, and that's because it came out when I was a couple years into college, and I think it was a little bit too much of a kiddie movie for me at the time. You know how it is. It's like as soon as you're sort of ostensibly an adult, you want to shun all of those kid films. And so I never really got around to see it. I was working at a movie theater at the time, though, when it came out, so I saw little bits of it. This was the first time I saw it. And you know what? It's really fun. It is a kid's movie, but it's really, really fun. I think it's deservedly a comedy. Deservedly a Halloween classic. And you get Bette Midler in there. She gets all the best lines by far. But the Sanderson sisters, which are the trio of witches that have come back from the past after being executed or near executed. They come back from the past because of a magic spell, and then they terrorize a modern town in New England. And it's super fun. There's a lot of cool spells going on. There's a talking cat. There's a zombie that comes back to life to hunt down the kids that the witches are looking for. And there's actually kind of a cool bunch of little twists and turns. Nothing outrageous, but you're not going to be super surprised at the film or anything, but it is a charming film, and it is very well paced. That goes really far with me. I love well paced films because it just, it's light, it's breezy. I never got bored, and it's a very colorful film. It's really just a great film for the holiday season, the Halloween season, and that's who I would recommend it for. I would recommend it to families on Halloween, or if you're someone who wants a nostalgia blast from the 1990s, this would be another good film to go see. And I, if you're a hardcore horror fan, skip it. It's not going to be something that you'd really enjoy. But I think for folks looking for a fun movie to see around this time of year, it's a good one to do. Now, the song that I've decided to pair with this is a song of mine called "Crystal Ball of Soul," and I wrote this for. I try to write a Halloween song every year, and this was a song that I wrote in 2017. And it was supposed to be a collaboration with someone, but I threw out some ideas, and then I never heard back from her on it. So I decided I wanted to finish it myself. So that's what I got here. By the way, I've got a Halloween show this Friday at Longmont Public Media at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to be playing this song. However, I will be playing it with a full band. That's right. The full Dave Coile array will be there, and we'll be laying down a bunch of spooky tracks. So you should come on out and see it. And all right, here we go. This is Crystal Ball of Soul. I'm going to take a sip of water here before we get going. Let's start that again. This whole world is so mysterious. You lose your head in the clouds. Old man Kismet's playing games with us, but we're not fooling around. When you're faced with indecision, losing your ambition, and you question if you have the resolve, you can turn to divination, heed my premonition, let all of your problems be solved. You won't believe what I saw when I looked into the crystal ball. So I flip the cards of the tarot. I know you fear what the future has in store. Hold on, just hold on, yeah. This whole world is way too dangerous. It's enough to get you down. Sweet lady luck has never cared for us, so no more fooling around. When you're faced with indecision, losing your ambition, and you question if you have the resolve, you can turn to divination, heed my premonition, let all of your problems be solved. You won't believe what I saw when I looked into the crystal ball. So I flipped the cards of the tarot. I know you fear what the future has in store. But hold on, just hold on, yeah. And the world will hold you down. That devil will get you round. We can break the bounds of fate, I know. You won't believe what I saw when I looked into the crystal ball. So I flipped the cards of the tarot. I know you fear what the future has in store. But hold on, just hold on, yeah, just hold on. Just hold on, yeah, yeah. All right. So that was Crystal Ball of Soul. That's the song that I decided to pair up with Hocus Pocus, the Halloween classic movie from 1993. So, all right. Let's get switching on guitars here. So the second movie I saw is ostensibly a horror film, and I don't know, it's a creepy film. It was not super scary. I mean, there's some mildly scary points to it, but this was a movie called Spring from 2014, and it is directed written and directed by a writer-director team, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. These two folks I've really gotten into in just the last couple months, actually. Or I suppose originally I saw a film of theirs called Something in the Dirt last year with my friend James. And my friend James and I, we've been trying to watch, suggest movies for each other the last couple months. And their movies have come up several times, and they're really, really cool. They directed a movie called Resolution, The Endless, and Something in the Dirt, as I mentioned before. They've also directed some episodes of Loki, the Marvel TV show, if you've seen that on Disney Plus. This one was starring Lou Taylor Pucci, who you might know from Thumbsucker or The Evil Dead, and that's the modern remake of The Evil Dead, and Nadia Hilker, who has been on The Walking Dead. So you got Evil Dead, you got Walking Dead, lots of different types of dead. There was that movie Dead Man Walking, though it has nothing to do with this film. So, this film... Oh, thank you, Valerie, by the way. Thank you for the applause. And even though I can see some comments here, I don't know. Oh, thank you, James, as well. All right, I'm still missing some of them, so I apologize if I missed one of your comments. So the movie is about an American man who gets into trouble after his mother has died. He gets into a fight, and then he's being chased by the police. So he decides to hightail it out of the country, and he lands in Italy in this very picturesque town in Italy, and he ends up having a fling with a local woman, and turns out though that the local woman has some mysterious things about her, and I really appreciate these directors. And what they do is they take real human drama and they manage to add just a fantastical element to it. And I really appreciate that, because I appreciate human drama, but I do like a little bit of fantasy going on. Or what's the term for it? Magical reality films. And some cultures are more into magical reality films than the U.S. And that's magical reality is just kind of where you take kind of a normal everyday kind of experience, and you overlay some magical things on it, I guess. But it's more. It oftentimes feels more metaphorical, and this movie, it reminded me of a couple things. I think structurally it was similar to the movie Midsummer by Ari Aster, though it goes very different directions towards the end. But it starts off with a death, some depression, and an attempt to kind of run away and deal with that. And it also reminded me just of a Greek myth. And I'm not talking about like the big Greek myths like Ragnarok or something like that. I'm talking about small ones where you've got an ordinary person who meets a dryad or a naiad. What do they call them? The spirits of the forest, and they end up falling in love or something like that. And it felt more like something along those lines. So I appreciated that mythical feeling. These guys have always had really clean cinematography. I find the juxtapositions that they do, the edits, the cutting from scene to scene, to actually be really artful and meaningful. Not all directors do that, but you'll have like a cutaway that overlaps with something else of interest. And the scenery is gorgeous. This is just a gorgeous Italian via by the sea, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful film. But let's see here. I think it's it's an effective metaphor for the risks of falling in love with somebody, and I really enjoyed it. I would recommend this for folks, and all stuff by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. I would recommend their stuff for anybody who enjoyed the TV show Lost, just because I think they did something similar. They took real human interest stories and then added kind of a mysterious element to it. which wasn't always horrific, but it created hints of mystery, a hint of mystery to it. And I feel like it fits into that kind of category. But yeah, absolutely, definitely. If you enjoy Greek myths, I would recommend this film to you. Now, the song that I picked for this is an older song of mine, which I haven't played in a while. It's called Man Overboard. And there's a little bit of a nautical theme, a little bit going on in the movie. But I think that the key thing is that this movie was written about my. This movie was about running away from a major life change, and I had my own midlife crisis about a decade ago, and this song was written about that. So anyway, this is Man Overboard. Man overboard, swimming out to sea. He don't need no life jacket, or no the water sets him free. Man overboard, don't know where it goes. He don't need no lifeboat, baby. He can find me undertow. Got a notion that the ocean will never let him down. Man underwater, coming up for air. He ain't scared of diving low. He knows the fish are way down there. Man underwater, his future can't be sold. He don't need your riches when all the sunken ships are made of gold. Got a notion that his fortune is gonna come around. Whoa, ain't got time to wait for a miracle. Whoa, ain't got time to waste on the logical. We don't need to fear the unknown. We don't need to bow to anyone. We don't need to heed your wisdom. We will learn from our mistakes. He who dares to go will likely not return the same way. Man cast away, will he find a home? Will he set sail for dry land, or will he die out there alone? Man knows the water touches every shore. He can ride the waves until he finds a beach to catch his flow. Then the ocean, yeah, the ocean will never let him down. Never let him down. Don't you know that it'll always be around? Hey, hey, hey. All right. Thanks, James. Thanks, James. Oh, looks like some other folks. Lady Campion, hey, good to see you. All right. All right. All right. So, okay. So we got some people coming in. Thanks for coming by and listening. And this is a new platform. I think I'm actually surprised. I'm getting fewer drop-ins from people. Oh, thank you, Lady Campion. Appreciate it. I think I'm getting fewer views from Facebook than I normally do. Usually I'll get people to drop in and kind of stick around for a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if the way that I'm doing it is reachable, or Facebook doesn't promote it as much as they do if you're doing a direct live stream. So, but it's good to know that some people are watching on YouTube. That's pretty cool. So, all right, for my third movie. So the first two were more movies of the season, but this one is, I needed a break from I guess the fantastical and a break from horror movies. So this one is actually a classic, a British film classic from 1962 called The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. It's directed by Tony Richardson, who is known for directing Tom Jones and The Hotel New Hampshire, so this guy has a pedigree. Written by Alan Silito. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the movie is actually adapted from his short story. And then it's starring Tom Courtenay, who was also in Dr. Zhivago, and Michael Redgrave, who I know most from a great Alfred Hitchcock movie called The Lady Vanishes. If you want to see the wittiest Alfred Hitchcock film, I would highly recommend seeing The Lady Vanishes. But anyway, Tony Courtenay plays Colin Smith, and he's a rebellious youth that has been sent to an English juvenile detention facility. Michael Redgrave is the governor of the facility, and he notices that Smith has a propensity for long-distance running, that he's actually competitive. He's a very fast runner. And it just so happens that they're having a competition with another local school, and he wants to use Smith to win that race. He wants to win that race. So he starts giving some special privileges to the kid. And we also get this intermixed with a flashback about the days before Smith was arrested and convicted for the crime that he committed. And I won't go into all that detail, but I want to say this, that it's a black and white film. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but the cinematography is gorgeous. It is beautiful cinematography. It's there's a lot of handheld subjective shots, so it has a little bit of that documentary feel going on. The scenery is gorgeous because there's a lot of scenes of him just running through the countryside. Played to jazz music, which is about the only music that you hear in the movie. There's not a lot of music going on in this film. And I would say that the cuts, the editing is very effective, especially during the climax of the film. So if you appreciate that kind of filmmaking, and I think everybody should care. I mean, I guess you don't have to care about the details, but these days we're so used to, I think a lot of people don't want to go to the theater unless it's a big blockbuster film. It's something, lots of special effects, that sort of thing. This movie really takes advantage of a large screen. It takes advantage and gives you really interesting camera angles, depth of field, something that I'm glad that televisions are larger than they used to be, but this movie would have been fantastic on a large screen. I just don't think they film things that way anymore. In fact, I know that when they film things, they're actually hedging on how much space they use in the screen, because they know that you might be watching on your telephone, or your cell phone, and then also maybe a small TV, and then maybe you'll see it at the theater. But they try to hedge it so that it looks good on all 3 or 4 different devices that you might be looking at it on. But this one definitely was full in to large screen cinematography, and it looks great. And I got to tell you that this was also the era where they wanted to make the bad boys look super cool, and this guy looks super cool, except when he's running. I have to say this, that the runners don't look that cool when they're running. However, that's probably because it looks more realistic, right? I mean, running is not always super cool looking. So, but otherwise, that people look cool in this film. Let's see. Also, just I'm not going to say it's like a big twist at the end of the film, but they nail the ending. They get it right. They do it. It's a satisfying ending, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So I'd recommend this for folks who appreciate movies about angry young rebels. And if you appreciate the raw intensity of early 60s movies that were kind of done by those film rebels at the time, you can kind of feel that energy, that there were these young filmmaker that's just kind of experimenting with stuff, which maybe seems old hat today in some regards, but it feels energetic and new in this film. So All right, but speaking of new, and speaking of running, this song I wrote in 2021. It's called "New Running Shoes." And I got it because I had been working out pretty regularly and my feet were killing me. And I realized it was just because I had super old shoes and they just were not, they weren't doing the trick. So I went to get some new shoes and it was amazing, just night and day how much better it was to have those shoes on. So I decided, hey, I'm writing a song. And here we go. This is New Running Shoes. I'm going to take a little sip of water here. Yeah. When you wake up and you step out of bed, your feet are too stiff, your toes won't even bend, and your soul's ache, and you can't hardly stand. You crawl back in bed again, but hold on. Hold on, relief is laying there on the floor. Well, you gotta tie your laces up. It's the only way that you can shape up. If you wanna make a breakthrough, put on your new running shoes. Hey, your running shoes. Your running shoes. Your running shoes. Now you wake up at the crack of dawn. You can't wait until you're on your front lawn. Take a deep breath and you flex your knees. The moment is there to seize. But hold on, hold on. Don't forget to take in the view. In your head you hear a started gun. It's time for you to take a long run. And you know that if you make it through with your new running shoes, hey, your running shoes, your running shoes, your running shoes. But hold on, hold on. Now that it's the end of the day, lay your tired body down. Take a break until you feel unwound. Don't forget before you do, hang up your new running shoes. Hang up your new running shoes. Hang up your new running shoes. All right. Let me see here. Oh, sorry. Just trying to catch up on the notes here. It says, yes, The Lady Vanishes. Good. You know the film. You know how good it is. Yes, that's right, James. They're more immersive. Oh, The Straight Story, another great black and white. Was that black and white? I think. No, that was just. Oh, thank you, Lady Campion. Yeah, well, I understand. Thank you, James. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for watching. That is the end of the show. And I'm hoping to actually get the chat situation a little bit better off. I'm just struggling to see everything on this tiny phone. But I appreciate you coming out and listening and watching. Some of you are for the first time. And I'll be back here next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. And yeah, I'll be doing some November songs, I guess. It's getting to be full on autumn, folks. So if you ever have any movies that you want to recommend, please shoot them my way. I don't have a lot of streaming services, mostly watching on Tubi, but also Hulu, Disney. If there's a particular movie that you're interested in on one of those three platforms, please recommend, or something at the theaters. And I will try to check it out, and then I'll try to find some music to go along with it. So, hey, folks, have a wonderful evening. Happy Halloween. And oh, yeah, if you happen to be in Longmont, Colorado this Friday at 7 o'clock, come out to see me performing at Longmont Public Media. I'll be there with my full band, the Dave Coile Array, and we're going to be doing some spooky grooves. All right, take care.